Hey guys, this is going to be another twin flame reading. It's a little bit dark, so I do apologize in advance. But before I begin, I am going to begin by doing a quick tarot 101 for those of you who do not know, and for those of you who love to comment on my videos without having proper knowledge. It's something that I find very frustrating, because if you think you know more than I do, and I don't claim to be, an expert, because I'm not. I learn, I'm learning every day as I go. But there are specific things that are, like I said, 101, basic, that everybody should know if you want to talk about tarot. Okay, so the 4 suits in tarot have a ruling element. Okay, that's usually represents a specific area of life. So for example, here we have cups. Cups is water energy. We have swords, air energy. Pentacles, earth. And wands are fire. Okay, so fire usually talks about anything that has to do with your instinct. Pentacles usually stability. Swords are decisions that need to be made, and cups usually deal with emotions and relationships. Okay, but just because they have a ruling element does not mean that they have an additional element. Okay, so for the most part, the court cards, which are the people cards, right, have an additional element. So when you hear me doing tarot, I usually say, for example, the Queen of Wands, I would say out loud, this is Pisces and Aries energy. And a lot of people would tell me like, no, how could it be Pisces energy? It's the Queen of Wands, which is fire. And this is where I tell you, you're wrong. Okay. Court cards also bring an additional element. Okay. So for the most part, knights are fire, queens are water, kings are air, and pages are earth. So for example, the Knight of Wands would be a fire suit of fire, while the Queen of Wands, it's a water suit of fire. Okay, so water suit of fire, okay, will be Pisces and Aries, which basically means you're combining the energy of water and fire, which suggests emotions and intuition with the communication of, energy and instinct. All right. So I hope that made sense. And if it didn't, then, it is what it is. But just before you comment on other people's stuff, do your research. Okay. Because I'm not going to say I'm not, because I've done it a couple times. A lot of times I do ignore people, but I would definitely, especially if you're very aggressive, I'm not the one. Okay? So with that being said, let's get started with the reading. Overall energy, divine feminine and divine masculine. Okay, so we have pride. Anything else? Overall energy right now, we have pride, and it is the divine feminine. Okay, and we have a couple of things. Okay, so on the bottom, alchemy, so there could be some dark magic going on, as well as chemistry, so we'll look into that. But definitely entrapment and hole in the soul. Okay, so wow, there's a lot of stuff here. And obviously we do see the energy of 2 females again. Definitely I do see a divine feminine. It says pride, but at the same time, right, we're feeling kind of like half dead. We're not completely, we're pretending that we're 100% okay, but we're not. Okay, because at the end of the day, that was clarified by a hole in the soul. Okay, so she has blood coming out of her heart. And this reminds me of the Queen of Swords, right? Standing straight with the sword, ready for battle. Still an angel, but definitely a hole in the soul, because we do feel incomplete. We also have pride. So it is possible that maybe A divine masculine has tried to reach out to someone, a divine feminine, and you are not letting him back in. Okay, so you are being strong. You are refusing to talk to this man, or ignoring, or definitely for someone, for a lot of you guys, I just see someone who is really hurt. Someone who, like, even her eyes, I can see that she's been crying. Okay. And in the meantime, the other energy of the other female, it's someone who it says entrapment, right? And then we have like this. This is so weird to me because the vibes that are given to me right now, it's not weird, but the vibe that is giving me is that this is the divine feminine. And you see, like I said before, alchemy, and then I see somebody. This is so weird. Okay, so this is how I'm gonna explain it. I'm even like out of breath right now, so give me a minute. Okay, so this is what I see. I see two females, but I definitely see a female that's doing something, some type of work. And if you notice, she has a jar, and she's holding on to something, but she's putting it right on the throat chakra, right? So it's kind of like she's stopping communication, but she's stopping the communication when it comes to the divine feminine. So usually the magic is done on the divine masculine. This one is done on the divine feminine. So Karmic, or whoever it is, definitely doing some work on the divine feminine. And we have this person holding like this stick, kind of like magic, right? And then you see her dress is blue, so definitely a female that's not communicating. So you're not communicating, and maybe this is why this shadow self is coming through as pride. But at the same time, your true self is telling you, you have a hole in the soul. And honestly, I don't feel like this is karmic in the back. I feel like this is your false self for the divine feminine, which is coming through here. Right? So false self kind of showing up, but at the same time, definitely. So if you're feeling very fatigued, because I couldn't, like, when I was trying to get the message, I felt like it was hard for me to breathe. It's so weird, but definitely the vibes of someone who's doing something, some type of work, so that there's no communication, so that you're not talking your truth, you're not speaking your truth. Okay, it's kind of like, what it reminds me of? The Little Mermaid. Remember when they took her voice away? Do you remember that? It's kind of like that's what it reminds me of. Like, you can't speak. And you can't speak because someone is like doing this to you. So let's see what we can pull. Let's talk about this divine masculine. What's happening with the divine masculine and this connection? So we have Judgment and the King of Swords crossing him. Okay, Judgment, fire energy. Here we go. King of Swords. Okay, so King of Swords is going to be Capricorn and Aquarius. And fire. So his mind is crossing him. Definitely the feeling of surrendering. Okay, here we go. On the bottom, we have Aquarius, right? So wishes, overall energy, wish fulfillment. So we have in his mind a lot. Thinking with his mind, not his heart. And then we have the energy of Leo. Again, this is kind of like, this reminds me of the same thing where it's kind of like a false self, right? We're kind of like wearing a mask. So basically, and then the Nine of Pentacles. So what I see here is this. Maybe pride getting in the way and deciding to, you know, be single. All right. Or made the decision to survive alone. Definitely right in the middle we have a decision was basically made, right? So there was definitely options and we chose a decision, and now we're thinking about the decision that we made. All right, we were not, this is usually sneaky, but the vibe that is giving me right now is we kind of thought that we could get away with something. All right, so, or we're thinking, that's what I see, okay? So we have the energy of a female Leo who's single, who is telling the world, I don't need anybody. I'm fine alone, and which is probably true, but it's not, the feeling that I'm getting is not the I want to be alone. It's kind of like, I know I don't need anybody. All right, this is what it is. I know I could do it by myself. I don't need anybody. The difference here is the wanting, right? So saying, I don't want nobody in my life, or I don't want to be with anybody. So you have to be careful what you put out in the universe. Because if you're just saying that just to say it, but in the reality is that you would want somebody with you, then you just have to be careful about what you say, okay? But definitely here, and these are male. So we have two females here. This is the same person. And then we have a male that's saying to me, I made a decision that I'm not happy with. And right now I am thinking of, because this is, we have the Knight of Wands, okay? Knight of Wands, Scorpio, Sagittarius is very fast moving energy. And is ready to take off. So I think that he's planning. It's a very fast moving energy. So it's very possible for your divine masculine to reach out to you if he has not. Because this is fast moving energy, and the feeling that I'm getting is I'm planning something. I'm being very careful, but I'm planning something. Okay, tell me more. Okay, tell me. Okay, so we're talking about I'm making moves because I no longer want to feel the way that I'm feeling right now. So right now they're feeling rejected. I don't want to feel rejected anymore. Right on top of the decision. Right. So you see that, right? Right on top of I made a decision is the Fool in reverse. So I made the leap without really thinking about it. It was very immature choice that I made. In my past. So in the past, I made a choice. I made, you know, in the past I made I took the leap and it was an illusion, right? So I ended up picking the wrong cup. Basically, that's what it's telling me. I picked up the wrong cup. I was in the clouds. Okay, what can you tell me about the karmic right now? The karmic. So she's waiting. Okay, so we have the energy of the Knight of Pentacles. The Knight of Pentacles is Leo Virgo, so Leo again. So they're waiting. What are they waiting for? What is the karmic waiting for? Oh my god, my fingers are so like, they hurt. Okay, so look at this, right? They're waiting right now. They're in the energy of the Four of Cups. So the Four of Cups is delusion when it comes to emotions, right? They're emotionally blocked, not happy. They're realizing they're living a lie, so they're not happy. And it is very possible that somebody else has interest in them and they're not even paying attention to that person because they're focused on a cup that doesn't belong to them. Look at that, right? Right on top. She's watching. Page of Swords. The single lady. So she's watching you. She's paying attention to you. So, you know, my advice for those of you who know who the person is, block them. Okay? Yeah. It says here, look. It literally tells me there's like for her to expect the unexpected because there's definitely somebody that's interested in the karmic. Yeah, they actually they're in love with her. So there's the energy of someone else, another male that's interested in this karmic. Like she's refusing this cup. You know what I mean? Look at it. Here he is. He's saying, like, he really has genuine feelings for this karmic. Isn't that weird? But he knows, look. Six of Pentacles. This could mean so many things, guys. We see on the bottom we have the Ace of Swords. So there's a lot of thinking going on, right? This can be her knowing that time is shared with someone else. But it can also be this person that's coming through as, you know, someone she's not talking to right now. And she's paying attention. So he's noticed that all the attention is on your masculine when he's like... So basically, he's like in love with the karmic. Let's see. How interesting is this? Oh my god. Let's see. Anything else you can tell me about this reading? Clarify anything that is clarifying. This is the funniest thing. So I see Divine Feminine who's playing hard to get. I see a Divine Masculine that's really planning something. Like he's being very careful. I see a Karmic that's watching the Divine Feminine, possibly doing dark magic on the feminine, not the Divine Masculine. But I also see the energy of a male. A male that has interest in the karmic. Okay, let's see. Wow. Okay, let's see. Okay. Okay, so it's very interesting, guys. Okay, I see the priest came through. Let me see, how can I move this so you can see better? So we have the priest coming through as the overall energy. And if you look here, how crazy is this that this specific priest has two couples, right? So we have two people, two male and two females, which is basically what's happening here, right? And it's like the focus, there's four people and the focus is like in the wrong direction. And then it talks to me about a soulmate connection from the past. So not only are you and your divine masculine, you know, connected in the past, so is this other person with this karmic. So they must have been somewhere in a relationship in the past, or maybe a past life, but definitely the energy of happiness, right? So here we have, look at this, just all I see is happy cards. So we are in a marriage, looking somewhere else. What our happiness is over here. Our past is here. But this is also the energy of this other person. And the Princess of Pentacles. So the Princess of Pentacles here is a woman. So, interesting enough, it could be a female. This Page of Cups. So not necessarily a male. Wowee. Okay. Because it says Princess of Cups. I mean, of Pentacles. You know, it doesn't necessarily need to be a female, but it could be the energy of a feminine, right? So, just because you're a female doesn't mean that you're the divine feminine. Very interesting. All right, let's see. Any clarifiers for this reading? Anything that can clarify the reading. It's giving me the vibes that this is an older person. Or is this the age difference? And the guy is a merchant. Okay, so if this resonates with you, difference and the divine masculine is some type of merchant. So it could be in the military, it could be somebody that sells, somebody that travels, somebody merchant, right? Buys, a buyer, a seller. But yeah, I'm gonna stop right there. Let me know if it resonates with you. Take care. Bye.